Hey guys, welcome back to Gulfside Beatworks. Today we are screwing around in the shop again. My last two were experimental, and that's what we're doing again today. I kind of just see it as, how are we going to figure out new cool colors if we don't experiment, right? So I might as well record it. So, today I'm going to start out with Shrimp Brown. This is Shrimp Brown 209. This is a Lureworks color. It's actually one of the first colors I ever got, and part of my first order from Lureworks, but I haven't used it much because it's kind of a niche color. And it's not brown. I've most definitely 100% seen this color in a shrimp, but it's like a gray green. I don't know where they got that name from. I don't really care. It's just funny. But anyway, so we're going to start out with that as our base. And I want to see what Swamp Crawl looks like in it. And I got some Black Flake, and then for the bottom, I grabbed Mad Micro's Tennis Ball Breaker. This is probably one of the coolest powders that I've gotten in chartreuse. It's just a great chartreuse color. And this thing lights up under a UV light like crazy. Yeah. So if I can get the top off this, I haven't opened it in a while. Like I said, it's kind of niche. A little more niche. So let's see what it does with some different things. Let's start out with 20 drops. All right. But yeah, there we go. So it's kind of an opaque gray. And it's got a little green hint to it. But yeah, like I said, this is a color I've 100% seen in shrimp. So, the color is definitely shrimp related. So, let's see what happens when we put, let's do a 16th to start and see what that looks like. And this again, I believe, was Swamp Crawl. Swamp Crawl. It's a mica shift. And it might work, it might not, but either way, we're going to make some baits with it. Okay, so now it actually has taken on a little more of a brownish hint, and you can see all that, all the shininess there in it. I got Black Flake out. This is so opaque, I don't know how well we're going to be able to see the Black Flake, and I might end up adding some more of the mica shift depending on how this looks with the Black Flake in it. Haven't fully decided on that. We're going to do 32s of two different colors, and this is 040, I think. 035, sorry. This is 035. Looks a little smaller than 035. Am I sure about that? 025. 025, I'm sorry. And then we got 015 as well. So we got a 32 of each of those. Let's see how that affects it, and then we'll decide if we want to end up adding some more of that mica shift or not. Yeah, so that's what we got now. That's actually not a bad color. Kind of weird. Don't know how it's going to look over the tennis ball breaker. This actually looks a little more clear than I thought it was. So I can still see everything in there. It's weird. It's almost like a rusty color with those two things mixed. I don't know. I think we're going to try it. I think that's That's looking good. So let's set that one aside. Grab our other one. Now I got the tennis ball breaker, and I grabbed some mica shift, not mica shift, I'm sorry. I grabbed some siren scales, Murloc SS05, double SS005. There we go. I can speak, I swear. Whew. All right. And we'll put a 1/16 of this in here. We'll mix that up before we add the other one. And I'm using swim bait blend right now. I grabbed a couple of molds. We're gonna do some bait and tackle molds. We're gonna do some one swamp trout mold as well. Actually, just saw. If you're not on Instagram, you might not have seen this, but bait and tackle and swamp trout are actually got a collab bait coming out. It's like a top water. It's got a blade like an old jitterbug, but it's fish. It looks really cool, and of course, the one swamp trout painted look incredible. Definitely go check on his page on Instagram. Yeah, you know, these powders are a pain in the butt to get all. All right, so let's put some Murloc in this. Okay, let's see if I can save those. That's what you get for breathing next to the Murloc. Always got to be careful. I do that all the time. All right, so that Murloc has given us some golds in the chartreuse, but I'm also seeing through the I'm also seeing some of the golds have like almost an orangish tint to them, which is kind of interesting. You know, colors refract differently with every color you stick them through, so you know, you get interesting things that way. All right, I'm gonna reheat these, and then I'll get the mold set up and we'll pour. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. Heated these back up. So let's get ready to pour. I'm probably gonna pour the swamp trout one first, as it's smaller, so the plastic is as hot as it's gonna be. All right. And this is the ST4, I believe. This is the Swamp Trout ST4 is what I'm pouring currently. And it's got a little tiny tail, so I'm trying to do my best here to make sure I get it fully filled in, but I'm not always perfect. All right. Now we've got the big-eyed fathead juniors. Piece of cat hair. All right. I'm going to try to pour mostly from the front at the beginning here, so it drags some of that chartreuse back. I'm kind of interested to see what this is going to look like. They may look really cool, or they might be the ugliest baits we've ever made. But I do think that adding that that 8-bit made it pretty brown. It's definitely brown now. But yeah, no, this shrimp brown color is definitely a color you see in a live shrimp. I've seen quite a few of them over the years here. You know, being mostly a saltwater fisherman, though it's been quite a while since I've used live bait. I mostly fish the stuff I make. All right, and these are the regular big-eyed fatheads, the OG, if you would. Boom, perfect. That one poured real well. All right, so we're gonna give this some time. It's gonna be a bit before I'm back. You guys won't be able to tell, but the big-eyed fatheads are big, so they take a while to cool. So anyway, I'll see you guys back in a bit. All right, guys, we're back. So let's check these bad boys out and see what we got. All right, let's start out with the swamp trouts. We poured those first. So like I said, we're either gonna have a great color or a really ugly color. Okay. It's not the prettiest color, but the fish might like it. I mean, we still got the shininess from the mica shift in the top and the siren scales in the bottom. Got a nice chartreuse. These actually, the more I look at them, I think these are gonna fish. I think they're gonna fish good. All right. Let's see what the next one looks like. All right. Yeah. There we go. All right, so there's our swamp trout ST4s. Did I say ST5 earlier? I'm pretty sure I just said ST4. Those are definitely ST4s. All right, and this one is the big-eyed fathead junior. Here we go. Yeah, I think these actually blended really well between the two colors. All right, all right. Weird, but I'm not mad about it. All right, here we go. Okay, yeah, not bad at all. Let's check out our big boys now. This is where we're really going to get to see the colors, because there's just physically more to look at. Nice. Oh, look at that, how the color drew down into the tail like that. I love that. Yeah, there we go. And that's the big-eyed fathead. That's a bait and tackle mold, as was the big-eyed fathead junior. Obviously, it's called junior. And there we go. All right, I think these all came out pretty good. I was somewhat hesitant on if I was going to end up liking the color, but it looks like we ended up with a pretty cool color. So I think that hesitancy was misplaced. Just set everything up here, bring the camera around. You know what we like to do. If you're used to seeing the channel, if not, I do this at the end every time. All right, so we got our big-eyed fatheads here, and our juniors here. Let's put these here maybe. And then our Swamp Tout ST4s there. Put this here, this up so we can definitely see we were using that. Yeah. All right. Just like to have a picture there with everything in it for the thumbnail. All right, let's bring the camera on. All right, here we go. So yeah, here's what we got. And you know, it does take on a brown now that we've added some of that sunset, or no, sorry, not sunset sleuth. This is swamp crawl, which is like a brassy, bronzy color almost anyway. Or like a red, like a rusted, like a rust almost. But it's a color shift. But yeah, there we go. There's the big boy. Bring a little guy over. I'd like to one day do a one day with these guys specifically, but I find that they need to sit overnight to let the tail harden on this mold. So I probably won't end up doing any one days with them, unfortunately. But I don't know, maybe I could try a harder plastic. The problem is then once they do fully harden, then the tails don't work. He really you know, dialed these in to use with 242 or swim bait blend. I mean, they really work well with that. And he told me straight himself when I made some out of Craw 2, he was like, hey, those aren't going to work well. And he was right. They you know, so you do want to make sure you're using the correct plastic. You know, because like with swamp trout's 5-inch, you want to go Craw 2. But with bait and tackles, it's got a much thinner tail, so you want to go swim bait blend. So, you know, you always want to make sure you got the right plastic. And I'm going off on a random tangent here. So anyway, yeah, these are our baits. Oh, here, we didn't look at this guy. So our ST4. You can kind of see the coppery shine there at some angles. I probably could go more, like double up on the amount of swamp crawl we used if you really wanted to see a lot of shine, but I do think these came out well. So anyway, that's our baits for today. I thank you for coming by Gulfside Bait Works. If you liked the video, definitely like and subscribe. If you want to share it, that would be appreciated. Definitely share the video if you can. And yeah, thanks for coming by Gulfside Bait Works.